It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast on this Friday, the 6th of September, 2024. Coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia. Brought to you by chilliescruises and Will U.S., the owner of Scooter Round. Before I get to the headlines this morning, a little health update after 2 really good days. Yesterday afternoon, I crashed again. Coughing. Feel like crud again. I slept some last night, better than I was earlier. But today, my lungs actually hurt. I've coughed so much. So I guess I won't have to call the doctor back today on this one. So I struggled to get the show together this morning, and I'm struggling to keep from coughing. So I'm going to try to do this without coughing in your face. But anyway, the headlines today, the lead story, Carnival Spirit Hits an Iceberg. Brought back some weird thoughts about other ships hitting icebergs. Ocean Advocate Named Godmother. Carnival Tweaks Itineraries for 5 ships. You know what I think about these tweaking things after they're posted. Oceana To Include Gratuities. Went along with our crazy story yesterday. A 53-night cruise to Japan has sailed. And lots more live today at 11 o'clock this morning. All right, folks, today is National Read a Book Day. Yeah, don't eat it, read it. So go pick up a book and read some. If you're like Hot Air Tom, read 1 page, and that would be great. So, of course, I'm teasing Hot Air Tom. But anyway, it's National Read a Book Day. You know, Katie got me yesterday when I missed it. Yesterday was also a National Hard of Hearing Day or National Deaf Day, how you want to call it. So I saw that this morning, and I said, well, that's what we're going to do today. Now, you might, it's also a coffee ice cream day. That's not my favorite. But so if you really want to be good about it, go get some coffee ice cream and eat it while you're reading a book. Okay? If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. Most days I'm posted up 15, 20 minutes after the end of the broadcast. Yesterday, it took me like 2 hours to get loaded. Of course, it was a long show, but man, I had trouble getting this thing loaded into the network. And finally, it got it up. I mean, there weren't any technical issues. It was just a longer show than normal. But yeah, it was a little more difficult to get up and live on the network. So anyway, you're always welcome here. If you're listening via the podcast and ever want to jump over to the video feed, you could just hit the link in the description to do just that. All right, before we get to the news items, I promised that I would catch up a little on Elizabeth and Hot Air Tom's, and there's so many things to catch up on. It's unbelievable. But from Elizabeth now on Resilient Lady, that's of course Sir Richard. She had a very interesting chat with him, and that's Boy George. Still as flamboyant as ever. Then she went out in Amsterdam on the second day they were there. The weather was a little better. So there's typical Amsterdam pictures. And then she went to a Malaysian restaurant. This would be new to me. And of course, now keep in mind, she's vegan, so I'm not even sure what that is or what you call it. And of course, she likes to kick it up. So there's some spicy stuff to go on that, whatever it is. And she said because of the spicy stuff, she had no choice but to get a bottle of Prosecco. So that's Elizabeth likes to drink a little wine. So whenever possible. All right, now hot air Toms. I'm not sure if when I loaded it, the order might have changed. So I'm not sure the order these are in. I'll just go as I can. That was on one of the corners in Boston. I'm not sure where that is. Maybe in one of the cemeteries. That's in the old church. Yeah, that's the old church, the Old North Church. Which, no, there's a bakery, so they did get jumbled. That's a bakery where it's actually a bakery for pizza. And there's Ernesto's Pizzeria. He had pizza 2 days. There's Ernesto's Pizzeria. I don't think I've eaten there, but that looks familiar. Cops Hill. And that would be Hot Air Tom standing in front of the Paul Revere statue. I recognized the statue before I recognized Hot Air Tom. But anyway, that's a few pictures to prove to you that Hot Air Tom is in, where is he? In Boston. And I'm supposed to be there. And he and Kenneth are getting on the gym probably as we speak. I don't know if they have early, I don't know when they're getting on the boat. It's sometime this morning, sometime today. So, all right, I'll be back with some news stories. Did I forget all of those? Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I think I must not, some of them didn't upload to StreamYard. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I'll be back with news after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, guys, we're going to start out today. Where are we starting out today? Oh, yeah, with Iceberg. Carnival Cruise Line has confirmed that while Carnival Spirit was sailing in Tracy Arm Fjord on September 5th, the ship came in contact with a piece of drifting ice on its starboard side. This is much smaller than a growler or a large iceberg. The cruise ship stopped after the contact just as a precaution and to assess any possible damage. The good news is that the vessel was cleared to continue sailing. Passengers on the ship reported that another small vessel came alongside to check for any damage. The impact did not delay the vessel, and she has continued on en route to her first port of call. Carnival Spirit is expected to call in Skagway today as scheduled. I will point out that there is video of the iceberg incident. I tried to upload it and download it, and I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't get it to upload. So if you want to look at that, just look for Carnival Spirit Iceberg and pull up the little video clip for it. And the weather, the Atlantic cleaned up a little bit from yesterday. First of all, a shower and thunderstorms associated with a low pressure system and weak frontal boundary over the northwestern Gulf of Mexico still is disorganized. Upper level winds are expected to remain unfavorable for significant development of the system while it meanders over the northwestern Gulf and eventually merges with another approaching frontal system later today or Saturday. Although tropical cyclone development is unlikely, heavy rainfall is expected to continue across portions of the northern Gulf Coast during the next day or so. They're only talking about 10% chance in the next 48 hours, a 10% chance over 7 days. Satellite images indicate that the gale force low pressure system is producing a large area of showers and thunderstorms that are increasingly taking on non-tropical structure. The low is forecast to move northeastward at 15 to 20 miles an hour offshore the northeastern coast of the United States, reaching colder waters by this evening and overnight, and its opportunity to acquire subtropical characteristics appears to be decreasing. Talking about 20% chance of further formation in the next 48 hours and 20% over the next 7 days. And finally, a tropical wave located near the coast of Belize and Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms. The wave is forecast to move across Central America and southeastern Mexico today and tonight, and some slow development is possible over the weekend after the system merges over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. Virtually 0% of further formation in the next 48 hours, 20% over the next 7 days. So a little better than it was yesterday. Still got to watch these three. We've got 1 week left on the Will Power Chair Scoot Around Labor Day sale. Until September the 12th, we're offering fleet-wide discounts on scooters, electric wheelchairs, and more. We've also got special offers on open box items from Miracle Mobility and Will. Use code LABOR24 to get 10% off site-wide and use SRN 11127. Also, from the open box items, we've got a Miracle Mobility Platinum 8000 folding electric wheelchair, regularly $2,500, now $1,299. We've got a Miracle Mobility electric walker wheelchair, regularly $19.99, on sale for $11.99. And the Will Model F folding electric chair, that's the new one, with a weight capacity of 250 pounds, regularly $2,700, now $19.99. That's all part of the Will Scoot Around Labor Day sale until September 12th. In a nod to focus on ocean sustainability, Explora Journey has once again named a marine environmentalist to serve as godmother to one of its ships, Explora 2. The luxury line, a brand of MSC Group, which owns MSC Cruises, will debut its second vessel in mid-September. Rosalba Gianni, founder and president of the Rome-based Miravivo Foundation, a group dedicated to preserving marine environmentalists, will christen Explora 2 in Civitavecchia, the port for Rome, on September the 15th. Due to be delivered by Fincantieri Shipyard in Siestre Ponente, Italy, 3 days before the naming event, Explora 2 recently completed her sea trials, and all systems are a go. Carnival has been tweaking a bunch of sailings for 2025 and 2026. All are reasonably minor itinerary shifts for 5 ships, including Carnival Celebration, Carnival Elation, Carnival Conquest, Carnival Glory, and Carnival Jubilee. If any of these would affect you on your cruise planning, please contact your cruise provider. Carnival Celebration changes. Carnival Celebration is getting 3 itinerary changes for 25 and 1 for 26. The earliest change will affect the 7-night Eastern Caribbean sailings on January 5th, 2025. While all ports of call are still included in the itinerary, they will be visited in a different order than initially planned. This is also true for the 7-night Eastern Caribbean sailing on June 29th of 2025. The next change impacts a 6-night Eastern Caribbean sailing from Miami on May the 11th, 2025. The ship will call on Grand Turk, Puerto Plata, and Nassau as planned, but will visit Grand Turk and Nassau on different days. Finally, Carnival has shifted the dates for calls on Cozumel and Mahogany Bay for the ship's itinerary that will embark Miami on March the 15th. The voyage will also call on Celebration Key. Changes for Carnival Elation. The ship will see 3 changes to existing itineraries, with 2 cruises in 2025 and 1 in 26 impacted. The ship home ports, of course, in Jacksonville, operating 5-night Bahamas cruises embarking on February the 8th and a 6-night Bahamas cruise embarking on November 24th. Both voyages will see the call on Half Moon Key switched out with a visit to Princess Key instead. The planned visit to Princess Key is part of Carnival Elation's March 21st, 2026 voyage, which is another 5-night Bahamas sailing out of Jacksonville, will be replaced with a call to Celebration Key. Carnival Conquest changes. Over the next couple of years, Conquest will be offering short and sweet Bahamas sailings, but there are going to be a few tweaks to that. 3 of Carnival Conquest 4 sailings, all of which are based out of Miami and will call on Half Moon Key and Nassau, are changing the date for when they visit Nassau. A slightly longer 5-night Western Caribbean sailing, which embarks October the 1st, 2025, will call on Celebration Key and Georgetown and Grand Cayman first, and with the way the ports are visited. Similar to the voyages on Carnival Elation, Carnival Conquest will also swap a visit to Half Moon Key with a stop at Princess Key on the sailing embarking January 5th, 2026. Carnival Glory has 4 changes, all of which are scheduled for 2026. The first tweak impacts the sailing on January the 12th. The voyage will call on Celebration Key as planned, but will switch out the planned call on Bimini with a visit to Nassau and change the day of the visit. Subsequent sailings embarking from Port Canaveral on February 2nd, February 9th, and April 27th, all in 2026, will receive the same port swap, but for the later sailings. Only the port of call will change, not the date of the visit. Finally, Carnival Jubilee. Of course, that's Carnival's newest and largest ship. It will see only one minor change to its sailings out of Galveston on February the 14th, 2026. The ports have been, none of the ports have been removed from the itinerary, but the order in which they will be visited has been reversed, and the port times for Cozumel and Mahogany Bay have been adjusted slightly to account for the new schedule. Bunch of changes from Carnival, all minor. Call your cruise provider if these present any kind of problem. Oceana Cruises is expanding the services included in its cruise fare, while at the same time cutting 2 amenities previously covered by the line's Simply More promotional fares. The Premium Boutique line, a brand of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, on September the 5th launched a new brand value promise called Your World Included. For the first time, base fares will include crew gratuities. Previously, some guests enjoyed free crew tips as part of the line's loyalty club's perks, or if they qualified as a travel partner, such as a travel agent, or if they hailed from certain countries under the new Your World Included program, all guests will receive free gratuities. Oceana charges $18 per person per day for guests booking concierge and below staterooms, and $23 per person per day for those booking suites and higher categories. Under the new policy, the included tips represent savings of $126 per person and $161 per person, respectively, for a 7-day cruise. In addition to crew gratuities, The Your World Included program covers all specialty restaurant dining, room service dining, unlimited Starlink Wi-Fi, all non-alcoholic beverages, smoothies, and ice creams, group fitness classes, and laundry services. Holland America's Westerdam sailed from Seattle on Sunday on a 53-night cruise to Japan in the Pacific. Part of the company's legendary voyages program, the Majestic Japan Itinerary features visits to over 20 destinations before returning to Seattle on October 24th. The cruise starts with visits to Victoria and Vancouver in Canada before visiting Sitka, Haines, and Dutch Harbor in Alaska. The Westerdam is then set to cruise the Pacific ahead of a series of ports of call in Japan, such as Kushiro, Hakodate, and Yokohama, where it is set to spend 2 days docked. Other ports of call in Japan include Shimizu, Kobe, Kochi, Hiroshima, Sakamoto, Toyama, and Kanazawa. Before returning to North America via Hawaii, the Westerdam is also scheduled to visit Nagasaki, Ishigaki, and Naha. In addition to a second trans-Pacific sailing, the cruise features a visit to Hilo and a 2-day visit to Honolulu. Man, one of these days, I'll do that. Why not join me on the MSC Grandiosa cruise from Port Canaveral, Florida on February the 14th, 2026. It's 8 days and 7 nights with stops in Nassau, Ocean Key Marine Reserve, and Puerto Plata. The nice thing about this cruise, it'll be my first chance to be on the Grandiosa. That's one thing, but it's also has excellent pricing. Our prices start at $588 per person, including taxes and port charges. Solo prices start at $738, or if you're solo, the package with drinks and Wi-Fi is only $1,052, including taxes and port charges. Dynamite prices on the MSC Grandiosa sailing February 14th, 2026 from Port Canaveral. Call me 434-258-9264, and we'll see you on the Grandiosa. And that wraps up the news portion of today's show. I was able to mute out my coughing fits. I had several of them. So let's go see who's in the chat room as long as the voice lasts. There's Hot Air Tom and Ken coming to us from Boston. Roger's here from Jacksonville. Waiting till after the show to check out and start walking over to the port. About 1.5 mile walk. I want Ken to take my picture by the squirrel. All right, I know about the squirrel. I didn't get to those pictures today, Hot Air Tom. I'll show those next show I do. Katie's with us. Good morning, everyone, she says. Good morning, Katie. Todd's here. Thank God it's Friday. I agree. Joanne's with us. Hello, all. Gretchen's here out in Ohio. There's Gary Older and Dirt. Good morning, all. Coffee ice cream. Yum. Not my favorite. I like my coffee in the morning. I like ice cream, although I'm not ice cream nuts like some people. But I don't dislike it. I'm just not a particular fan of mixing the two. Coffee ice cream is my favorite. Wow, anything coffee is good. Okay. I like my coffee in the morning. I don't like coffee after that. I never drink coffee during the day or like at dinner or anything. Never. I'd never go to sleep if I did. Bob's with us on our way to Port Canaveral to get on Adventure of the Seas for 6 days. Have a great day. I'll have a great trip, Bob. Send me some pictures. Post some pictures. Do something. If you have me on Messenger That's the easiest thing for me to do. I'll steal your pictures and use them on the show. I like Adventure of the Seas. I've been on her twice. I sailed on her out of Galveston both times. And yeah, it's a nice ship. I thought it was, at least. There's Amy. Good morning, Amy. She says hi to everybody. And Cindy Lee at sea is with us. Good morning, Sim. A little bit late, but she's here. Well, now you're a working girl. You got to do some work every now and then. There's Mike. Mike, you're late. You're usually here earlier than this. But good morning, Mike. Thanks for being here. Todd says, did you get your hot water fixed? Yes, finally. Yesterday afternoon, the electrician came. He got it done. Then it took a little while to get the hot water back. And then, unfortunately, before I could go, I planned to jump in the shower, 30 minutes after the electrician left. And that's when I just had a complete meltdown with the coughing fit and couldn't breathe and virtually couldn't move. And so I didn't get in the shower till this morning. But first thing this morning, I was in that shower, baby. You can find it was about 5 days without a shower. Ugh. So yeah, it was nice to get in the shower again. Amy said, did you practice saying those Japanese names? I'm impressed. No, actually, I do better with Japanese than I do with Italian. But yeah, so I speak a little, not much, a little Japanese. So I'm at least easier. That's easier for my tongue than some of the Italian things that I still struggle with. Speaking of struggle with, has anybody ever heard from my friend over there in Greece that used to give me coaching all the time? Man, I miss him. So anyway, all right, that's going to wrap me up for today. Folks, I will monitor things this weekend because it wasn't a great news day today. That usually is a prerequisite to a ball buster weekend. So I will stay on top of things and do another live this weekend if necessary. I'd like to get a lot of my catching up done on videos and clips and stuff that I've been putting off. Get some writing done this weekend. I have to make sure I feel okay because I have now exactly 2 weeks from today. I'm leaving here to go meet Hot Air Tom in Boston. So I got to be better than I am today. Yesterday I might have tried it, although I was still weak, but I felt good. Today I'm weak and don't feel good. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the weekend. Well, maybe it's going to wrap it up for the weekend. Anyway, everybody send pictures. I'll be happy to use them. That's it for today, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. You guys have a great Friday, a great weekend. You guys have great cruises that are sailing today and this weekend. Just be thinking about you. And everybody travel safe. Y'all have a fun time this weekend. See you next time.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.